So this is the answer of Module 5, Rational Functions, Equations, and Inequalities. So we will answer all of these. Let's have number 1. Choose the letter of the best answer. So number 1 is a truck that delivers essentials in remote areas can travel 85 kilometers, which of the following expresses the velocity v as a function of travel time in hours. So talking about velocity, this is vector quantity, this is displacement over time, and our distance is 85 kilometers. So the function v expressing velocity in terms of time is equal to 85 over t, since this 85 is the displacement and t is the time. Okay, next. If the truck in problem number 1 was delayed, by 4 hours due to the checkpoints that it passed through, what will be the time t as a function of velocity v in kilometers per hour? Now, we have here the formula for v. So velocity equals displacement over time. When we multiply this t times velocity, that's velocity times time equals the distance or displacement. Then we divide, okay, we eliminate v by multiplication property. Multiply both sides by v, so that's t is equal to displacement over velocity. Now, our displacement is 85 kilometers. Then express, okay, what will be the time as a function of velocity? So time, to get the time using the v velocity is equal to the displacement, which is 85 divided by v. Since it was delayed for 4 hours, then this is the time added, that's 4 hours. So 85 over velocity v plus 4. So this is the answer. Okay, next, number 3. As a cure to the epidemic that spread in the whole country, the Department of Health released a new drug that is subject for experimentation. Suppose that C of t is equal to twice of t divided by t plus 2. So in milligrams per milliliter represents the concentrations of a drug in a patient's bloodstream in t hours. How concentrated is the drug after 2 hours of administration? So this is the solution. So C of t is equal to 2t divided by t plus 2, the given. Then after 2 hours, so our t is 2, substitute t by 2, so this is 2 times 2 over 2 plus 2. So that's 2 times 2 is 4, 2 plus 2 is 4. So we will have 4 divided by 4 is 1. So the concentration of drug in patient's bloodstream after 2 hours is 1 milligram per milliliter. Okay, next, if the distance from Manila to Lucena is approximately 140 kilometers, which of the following pertains to the function where s is the speed of travel that describes the time it takes to drive from Manila to Baguio? Now, we have here the formula for speed. Speed equals distance over time, and our given distance is 140 kilometers. Now, we are to find out the speed in terms of time. So that is actually equal to distance 140 over t, the time. Next, number 4. For 5 and 6, use the problem below. Due to the enhanced community quarantine, Banawi's food spa temporarily stopped its operations, and to help the employees, the owner decided to split evenly its total revenue of 65,000 pesos. So they will divide the 65,000 to each of their employees. So if the number of employees is represented by X, which function represents the amount it's received? So the amount to be divided is 65,000, and this is the number of employees. So therefore, this is the amount to be given on each of the employee. Okay, this is the division of each of the employee, the amount received. Next, number 6. If the owner held a fundraising activity that aimed to help the employees and collected 5,000 pesos per employee, which of the following represents the total amount an employee will receive? So this is the function. Function of x equals 65,000 divided by x plus 5,000, wherein this is This is the amount received by the employee, but there is a fundraising and each of the employee will receive 5,000, so therefore we had 5,000. For 7 and 8, so due to the inclement weather, the plane slows down the regular flying rate, which results to additional 2 hours in covering up 4,000 kilometers distance to its regular time. Now, we are to answer number 7, write a function that expresses the time as a function of a regular rate in traveling. So, another way of saying, we are going to find the time using R, or find the time in terms of R, the rate. So we all know that time is equal to distance over rate. So T of R is equal to our distance is 4,000 divided by rate. So this is the answer. Now number 8, what function expresses the time as a function of rate during inclement weather in traveling? So we are to add the weather condition wherein 2 hours was added to the traveling time. Now T of R, we are to find the time in terms of R. T of R equals the distance 4,000 divided by R plus 2 hours. Okay, number 9, which of the following is a rational function? Now, rational function, there is domain and range. So this is, letter A is not a rational function. This is a quadratic function. This is a rational function, letter B. So this is rational inequality, and this is rational equation. So therefore, letter B is the answer. How will you classify y equals x squared minus 9 over x plus 3? So this is a rational function because there is y. There are two variables involved. This is the dependent and this is the independent variable. Okay, what symbol must be placed with the blank to make the sentence rational equation? So the answer is 6, letter D, to make it a rational equation. Now, which of the following is considered rational inequality? So we are going to find out of the symbol for inequality. So here is it, inequality symbols, and evaluate the expression whether the left side or the right side is an rational expression. So this is the answer, letter C. Which of the following is considered rational equation? So rational equation, the answer is letter D. So this is not a rational equation. This is merely an arithmetic. So this is rational expression. This is not a rational equation. This is merely an algebraic equation. And this is a rational equation. Okay, now here is it. So create a model or equation that will represent to the amount of relief each family will receive, bearing in mind that the number of families will vary. Now, this really reflects on our time, on our situation today, in our crisis, which is the pandemic. So this is a constant function because even if how many members are you in the family, still the relief goods, the amount of the relief goods are still the same. You are equal. So therefore, in my opinion, that's function of y equals 520, a constant function. Okay, after resolving the amount of relief each family may receive, what other problem may arise in the current situation? So it's individual answer. If you are one of the residents of the barangays, what will be your participations to help the officials follow the rules? Okay, next. Now, during the first quarter of the school year, the officers elect the Supreme Student Government decided to divide their budget evenly to the different committees. If their budget is 35,000, construct a function M, which would give the amount of money each of n number of committees would receive. So letter A, you may construct a table to aid you in determining the relationship between quantities. We have here number of quantities, amount allocated, or each committee. Now, the function which is revealed on this situation is M of n is equal to 35,000 divided by n. Okay, so this is the budget. So you divide it by number of committees. So this is the function. And here is it, the number of committees. When it is 2, so amount allocated for each committee is 17,500. You just divide 35,000 divided by 2. If 4, that's 35,000 divided by 4. It's 8,750, the amount allocated for each committee. So here is, if there are 6 committees, then 35,000 divided by 6, then 5,833.3. Each committee will receive amount allocated. So if 8, that's 4,375. Here's the formula. You will divide only the amount 35,000 divided by the number of committees. So write the rational function that represents the situation. Here is it, rational function. M of n is equal to 35,000 over n. Okay, next. So pastry corner. Manuel has 10 cups of flour to be used in baking cakes. He wanted to split it evenly among the containers that he will use so that he can adjust the measurements of other ingredients. Construct a function C which would give the number of cups of flour each of the number of containers n will have. Okay, there are 10 cups, so divided by containers, then this is the amount. Where function of C which would give the number of cups of flour each of the number of containers will receive. So each of the number of containers will receive 10 over n. So this is the function. So let C of t equals 3t over 3 plus t plus 6 be the function that describes the concentration of certain medication in the bloodstream over time. If 4 hours have passed after the medicine was intaken, how concentrated is it in the blood? So number 1, what is the rational function that serves as the model? So the answer for letter A is, this is the model. We will be using C of t equals 3 times t over t plus 6, where t is equal to 4. Now, how are you going to determine the concentration of medicine given the rational function and the number of hours? So here is the solution, t hours. So C of 4, the time after 4 hours, is equal to 3 times 4. Substitute t by 4, then 4 plus 6. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 plus 6 is 10. So C of 4 equals 1.2. So this is the concentration of medicine in the bloodstream. It's 1.2 milligrams per ml, or milliliter. Okay, so determine whether given is a rational function, rational equation, rational inequality, or none of these. So this is a rational equation, number 1. This is a rational inequality. This is a rational function. And this is a rational function still. And this is not none of this. This is just only an algebraic inequality because of this radical symbol. Okay, next, determine whether given is a rational function or rational inequation or rational inequality or none of this. So this is not a rational function. This is a quadratic function. So none of this is the answer for number 1. Number 2, this is rational equation. Number 3, it's none of this. It's because of this is merely an algebraic equation. So this is a rational equation. And this is a rational inequality. So how do you classify x over x plus 3 over x minus 3 equals 3y? So this is a rational function. Now next, which of the following is an example of rational function? So letter A, this is not rational equation. This is not rational function. This is merely an algebraic function. Okay, so the answer is none of this. What symbol will be replaced with the equal sign in the equation 2x plus 5 3x minus 5? Equals 2x squared to make it into an inequality. So the answer is letter C. Okay, read the statements carefully and choose the letter that corresponds to the correct answer. How do you classify 3x squared over 3x approximately 3y? None of this. None of this. Which of the following is an example of rational function? Rational function, none of this. None of this. This is rational equation. This is algebraic function. This is rational inequality, and this is a linear function. Okay, now number 3, what symbol will be replaced with the less than or equal to sign into x plus 5 over 3x minus 5 is less than or equal to 2x squared to make it a rational equation. It's equal equation, equal equation. Next, multiple choice is from 1 and 2. Problem solving 1 and 2. Due to typhoon Rosing, the bus slows down the regular trip rate, which results to additional 2 hours in covering 140 kilometers distance to its regular time. Write a function that expresses the time as a function of regular rate in traveling. So therefore, we have t of r equals 140 over r. Since our distance is 140 and our r, and because the formula of t equals distance over rate. So this is the answer. It's letter A. Next, number 2, what function expresses the time as a function of rate during the typhoons? We all know that before the during the typhoon, the hours was added by 2. So therefore, t of r equals 140 over r plus 2. So which of the following is a rational function? Look at here. Rational function is letter B. Okay, how will you classify this one? So this is a rational function. What symbol must be placed in the blank to make the sentence rational equation? It should be a number. It's the letter D. Next, number 6. Which of the following is considered rational inequality? Find the inequality symbol. It's letter C. Okay. Which of the following is considered rational equation? Equation, it's letter D. This is not. This is expression, rational expression. This is linear expression. And this is merely an algebraic equation. Next, number 8. In the equation 2x plus 3 divided by 2x plus 2 equals x plus 8, what symbol must be replaced with 8 to make the equation rational function? It should be, the answer is y. Okay, y. It's another letter. So what symbol is present in the equation y equals square root of 3x squared plus 3 over 2x plus 3 for not considering it as a rational function because of the radical symbol. This is not a rational function because of this radical symbol. Okay, number 10. A delivery truck that will bring cargo will travel 80 kilometers. Which of the following expresses the velocity as function of travel time in hours? So we are to find out the velocity using the time. So velocity equals distance over time. Displacement over time. So v of t equals the distance is 80 kilometers and the time. So this is the answer. Now, let number 11. If the truck in problem number 1 was delayed by 4 hours due to the checkpoints that it passed through, what will be the time t as function of velocity in kilometers per hour? So if it was delayed by 4 hours, so we add 4. So distance equals time equals distance over velocity. So time t of v equals 80 over v plus 4. Next, as a cure to the epidemic that spread in the whole country, the Department of Health released a new drug that is subject for experimentation. Suppose that C of t equals 2t divided by t plus 2 in milligrams per milliliter represents the concentration of drug in a patient's bloodstream in 3 hours. How concentrated is the drug after 4 hours of administration? Okay, so this is how you will solve. This is the given, and our t is 4 after 4 hours. How concentrated is the blood? So we only to substitute 4 to t. So that's 2 times 4. That's 8. 4 plus 2, that's 6. So we will divide 8 divided by 6. That's 1.33 milligrams per milliliter. So the answer is letter D. Number 13. If the distance from Manila to Batangas is approximately 109 kilometers, which of the following pertains to the function s, where s is the speed of travel that describes the time it takes to drive from Manila to Batangas? So speed is equal to distance over time. So s of t, finding speed using t, the time equals the distance, which is 109 divided by t. Okay, next. In 14 and 15, this is the problem. Due to the enhanced community quarantine, toys for her and him temporarily stopped its operations, and to help the employees, the owner decided to split evenly its total revenue of 45,000 pesos. So evenly, so divide it equally. So therefore, we will divide 45,000 divided by the number of employees it has, or it have. So if the number of employees is represented by x, which function represents the amount it receives? So if we if they are going to divide the 45,000 divided by the number of employees, and this is the amount should each of the employee receive. So function of x equals 45,000 divided by x. Now, if the owner held a fundraising activity that aimed to help her employees and collected 1,500 per employee, which of the following represents the total amount an employee will receive? So this is the answer. So this is the amount of each employee receive. So it's 45,000 divided by x. But because of fundraising, each of the employee will have an additional 1,500. So this is the function.